Hello, my name's Linda and I'm from City Life Church in Truro, and I would love to share the Christmas story with you, the Christmas story that you'll find in a Bible. First of all, I'm going to make some footprints in this sand. Have you ever made footprints in the sand? Perhaps on the beach, on holiday, or maybe in the garden just playing? Let's have a little look. Oh, there we go. There's my footprints. Wow, I wonder what your footprints would look like. You know, I was thinking about footprints and I was wondering about the footprints there are in the Christmas story. You know, the Bible tells us about the first Christmas story that happened over 2,000 years ago. And whatever Bible you pick up, whether it's got lovely pictures in or whether it's just got writing in, whatever one you pick up, you will find this Christmas story. It's right at the beginning of the New Testament. So the Christmas story, starts a long, long way away in a place called Nazareth. And you probably know that the main characters were Mary and Joseph. And Mary and Joseph had to travel all the way to Bethlehem. Now I wonder, how many miles do you think it is from Nazareth to Bethlehem? Well, it's about 90, and it'd have taken them over a week to walk there. I wonder how many footprints they made walking from Nazareth to Bethlehem. Have a guess. Well, I googled it, and it's about 2,000 footsteps for every mile. So if you times all that up by 90 miles, it's 180,000 footprints that Mary and Joseph would have made from Nazareth to Bethlehem. So let's start at the beginning of the story and let's see what footsteps we can discover in the Christmas story over 2,000 years ago. So first of all, we have Mary. And Mary was travelling with Joseph to Bethlehem. I wonder what Mary's footprints look like, and I wonder what Joseph's footprints look like. It was very dusty and very sandy, so probably they were making their footsteps as they went along. And what about that donkey that was carrying Mary? He would have had footprints as well, wouldn't he, in the sand? Well, Mary and Joseph, they arrived at Bethlehem. And do you remember there wasn't anywhere for them to stay? So they stayed in with the animals. Now I wonder, what footprints would those animals make? Have you ever seen a cow's footprint, or a sheep's footprint, or a chicken's footprint? I wonder. Well, Mary and Joseph settled in, didn't they, with the animals that night in Bethlehem. They settled down, and that night something amazing happened. Do you remember? Baby Jesus was born at a cold night in Bethlehem. And up on the hills there were some shepherds. And the shepherds were looking after their sheep. Now I wonder, how many shepherds were there on those hills in Bethlehem? And I wonder what their footprints were like. And also there were lots of sheep about. I wonder what their footprints looked like all over the hills. Well, the shepherds, they ran quickly, didn't they? They ran quickly down to see baby Jesus in that manger. And when they got there, they saw Mary and Joseph and all the animals. And they probably knelt down and looked at baby Jesus. And then they left, and they left their footprints all the way back through Bethlehem as they ran through Bethlehem, telling everybody what they had seen. And then a little bit later, along came some of these, camels. Now, have you ever seen a camel's footprint? I think I have, and I went on holiday a long time ago. I wonder what a camel's footprint looks like. And I wonder how many camels there were. And what about those wise men, the kings? I wonder if they had really posh shoes on. I wonder what the posh shoes look like. Wonder what the footprint was like of a posh shoe for the kings. Well, the kings, they went in to see baby Jesus as well, didn't they? And they bought some very special presents. Then they left the presents with baby Jesus and off they went, leaving their footprints again, didn't they? They didn't go back on the same road. They went on a different road. But their footprints of the camels and the kings after they'd seen baby Jesus. Well, a little while after that, Mary and Joseph, they packed up their presents and they packed up their things and they went off to a place called Egypt. I wonder what their footprints looked like then, when they left the stable, when they left the place where all the animals were, and they went off to Egypt to see those pyramids. Well, that is the Christmas story, the first Christmas story that happened over 2,000 years ago. But what about baby Jesus? I don't think that he would have made any footprints because he was a baby and he couldn't walk. But what I do know, what the Bible does tell us, is that Jesus grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and his footprints would have grown bigger and bigger and bigger. And when he was about 30, the Bible tells us all about these stories. He had went to an amazing picnic, and there was over 5,000 people there. Just imagine how many footprints there would have been with all of those people. And Jesus' footprints would have been there too. And they had an amazing picnic together. And also when they were walking along the road and Jesus said to a very little man, "Can I come to your house for tea?" I wonder what that little man's footprints were like. And Jesus' footprints were there as well. There are so many stories in the Bible where we would know that Jesus' footprints would have been there. You know, Linda's a Christian. And as a Christian, I want to follow in Jesus' footprints. I want to be like Jesus. You could say that I want to walk in Jesus' footsteps. I want to be like him. So if I didn't have this Bible, I wouldn't know how to walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Now, I wonder what your footprints are going to be like this Christmas. Where are your feet going to take you? Are you going to be kind as you're making footprints? Are you going to give presents as you make your footprints? Are you going to be loving and bring a smile to people this Christmas time as you make your footprints? I wonder. Well, whatever you're going to do, wherever your feet take you, wherever your footprints are made, I hope you have a really fun-filled and joyful Christmas. Happy Christmas.